Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Why is the intro not playing? Aha! Bakari, hello! I'm telling you, fucking YouTube blows donkey. Why do streams it's so simple? Why you guys? Too loud? Is the intro too loud? I don't know why it's so loud, honestly. I'm turning it down some. That's better, right? Let's make a new full Export. Export. No one cares about Mop. Rayon. Let me tell you something, brother. You coming in here, being all rude. I care about Mop, and I want to share my enthusiasm with the world. You may not care, that's totally fine. That's totally fine, but I do. And this is a 10 megabyte file, that's fine, right? Just have to be under 2. No one cares about that. Voice up, intro lower. Alright. Voice up, intro lower. Chat. No, my mic is up. There we go. We're done. Besides, Mop has sexy lady pandas. That's true. That's true. Turd Burglar has really good points. Snickles, I need you to pop into chat at the beginning of every single stream and do audio levels with me. Here's what I think we're going to do tonight. I'm going to turn stream off in like 3 hours, 2 hours, and then I'll be off for like 3 hours, and then I'm going to come back tonight, and we're going to play Arc Raiders with Sarth and Toxic Lust, and maybe somebody else. Maybe even Pirate Software, if he wants to play with us. I know. I threatened him this morning. I said, if you steal my best friend, I'm coming for you. He didn't think that was very funny. He thought it was a little funny. I also don't think he really thought I was being serious. I was being serious. I'm coming for that ass. That sounded more sexual than I meant it. That sounded more sexual than I meant it. Alright. Oh yeah, I'll show him. I'll show him. I also have not played Fellowship one time. I was planning on going super hard for that, and I just didn't. Pause. Pause. I won't. I won't. I won't. This fucking thumbnail's too big. Image file shrinker. Compressing? Compressing? Please stand by. All right, we did it. It is... I need to get it under 2 megs. Processing. Processing. Please hold. Please hold. Still too big. I've seen a few in-game stuff, too much like WoW. For arc raiders? Oh, dude. I don't think so. It's a looter shooter, dude. Ooh, it's booty squat day? Turd burglar. That's incredibly exciting. Alright, we're gonna hit apply. Apply. And then we're gonna hit... Wait, how do I download? Download. We downloaded. We downloaded the thing with the thing. Alright, we did the thing, now we're uploading the thumbnail, and then we're going to push the button. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Download, image 5. Oh, we did it. Save. Haha! Check out that little thumbnail, baby. We're making thumbnails for YouTube Live because it's garbage. Fucking... Ugh. Alright. I gotta fix the mirror bot and then we're done. Mirror bot. What time is it? Oh, I'm 10 minutes in? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. This is way too long. Show the garbage. I'll show you in a second. What's the Jordy Wiggle emote called? Exactly. What's the text? It's like Jord E Wiggle, right? Chat, let's look. Jordy Wiggle. It's Jordy E Wiggle. Jordy E Wiggle. Submit. Actually, why don't I do this? Cancel. Whatever. Alright, I gotta fix that later. Submit. Alright. We're pushing the button. Friends, Romans, countrymen, activity feed, media request, TikTok chat, elements control center. What is that? That's not what I want. How do I see my... Where is my viewer count on SE Live? That's the thing that I'm wondering about. I'm aware, DJ. I'm aware. Mr. Schnick. Boomies. We're sucking motherfuckers over here. I still need to finish that Baron video, dude. Before your time. Before your time with Fusion. God, joining Fusion after Baron is like joining I don't know. There's a very good way to describe this, but it's not. It's not coming to me. Mr. Duran. Oh yeah, movies. I'm not saying everybody's not extremely friendly. Oh, Febe, brother, I was just thinking about you. We need to talk. I got to show you some shit. We have a whole project we just stopped working on because I've been so fucking distracted by life, the universe, and everything. Also, there might be something you might want to help out with, but I want you to be okay. Baby, we'll let's talk tomorrow morning, my time. Tomorrow night, your time, if you could. Yes, I would like that very much. I'm out until evening, my time. We figured out. Okay. Hi guys. Oh, playing Magic the Gathering. Very nice. Let's put the music on, and then we're gonna. Oh, I got raided. Roomy. What's up? Yesterday we got up to Tortos. Hi guys, how are you? 945. What's up? This song is loud AF. How are you? It's a good song though. What's going on, friends? We're gonna be doing 4 bosses today. Frostyco, what's up? Nice to see you, dude. We're gonna be doing Torb. I'm gonna fix it right fucking now, Torb. Before we do anything, I'm fixing it. I started to do it. The Jojo, how are you? Guys, hello, welcome in. Hello, everybody, hello. Hello. I'm fixing it right fucking now, Torb. Because I miss your shenanigans. What's my fucking Twitch password? God damn it. Ah! Oh. Ah! I can't remember my password. Duranosaur, I've got a lot of things in the air right now. It's actually a very exciting time. HLK 2030. That's not a bad idea, actually. I got it. Now I got my authenticator. Roomy, how are you, bud? I'm gonna be raiding with Newman again. I'm very excited about it, actually. I won't be doing it with PTR, obviously, but I'll be raiding with Newman again. Okay. Let's test this shit. Due to upcoming Twitch API changes, you must grant TTS Monster permission to read your channel points events by April 14th. Click the blue Setup Channel Points button in the alert settings to avoid disruptions. Please join the Discord for help. In the alert settings. Where is alert settings? Setup channel points. Authorize. It might be working. It might be working. If you haven't already, you must manually create a channel point reward for your viewers. Set a reward name. Set the cost to 10,000. Set require viewer to enter text to enabled. Back to dashboard. All right, here we go. Good night, DJ. Mr. Schnick. All right, reloading the overlay. It's reloaded. It's not working. TTS guide URL. Where's monster.tts? Always ons. We're not starting until I fix this. Add. Browser source. Monster. Properties. Oh, Cabs, hello, brother. Hello. Duranosaur, how are you, man? Say not fixed for 2 hours so you can watch. It didn't do it. The fuck? All right, refresh it one more time. Streamlabs alert setting page. What the fuck? Such garbage. Yes, PTR is next week. PTR start. Okay, well, I should say the raid opens 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Pacific time. Which is exciting. 10 a.m. Pacific, yes. Wait, close. We're gonna do this. I'm not fucking leaving. Advanced audio settings. Find the TTS overlay source. Advanced audio properties. TTS overlay source. It's not even fucking in here. Monster. Monster is in here. It says it's inactive. Change it to monitor and output. Close. All right, we're close. We're close. We're close. We're close. Refreshing. I'm losing my shit. Are they muted? Spin wheel? What does this do? That pop up with something? Tip jar, force reload, reload widgets. Application audio capture beta, audio input capture browser. It's a browser source, right? It has to be. Brother. All right, here we're gonna test him. Oh, it needs text. Why wouldn't it let me? Oh, here it is. Check 1 2. How do you do? I give up. Everybody hates me. It's funny because I also hate me. Okay, maybe there's that. We're gonna try it one more time. Last attempt, and then we're giving up. I know, guys. This is incredible content. You love it. You love it. Monster. Channel points are enabled, and the channel point reward name is just called TTS. My account is connected. And go. I give up. We'll do it later. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Today we are doing the second boss guide preview stream for Throne of Thunder. What's exciting is, oh, maybe it's the stream elements. Let's try that. Because I'm using SE Live. Maybe that's it. That's not it. All right, I give up. We're going to do 4 bosses today.
Green beams. La 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 la.
At least Blurp works. We're going to be doing Megera, Ji-Kun, Durumu, and Primordius, I believe. What's exciting is the first 4 bosses are no joke. However, I think the next 4 are a little bit easier because strategies have mostly been figured out, if you know what I mean. So it's one of those series of bosses that you'll find will be kind of difficult to prog, but once they're done, they should be a little bit easier. Durumu, as Movies is saying, and even Primordius are a little bit harder in that they require fast reaction times and good DPS. Maybe not Durumu, but Primordius does require really good DPS. Tomorrow, we will do the last bunch of bosses before the GDKP at 4 o'clock. Oh, no, tomorrow's Halloween. We are not doing the GDKP. Will we get the boss fight guides before the release of the raid? I don't know. It depends on when they release the raid. My goal is, yes, of course, to get all of them done. I also have editors this time to help me, so that's going to be very helpful. I also am going to be December 9th is your theorized day. Why December 9th? Why isn't this showing up? My fucking computer isn't working. There's Figma. Hello? Alright, well now the fucking computer's broken. What is happening? I hope it releases either a good time before or after Christmas so I don't miss another release. Yeah, if it releases around Christmas, I'm going to be really sad. But I don't think they're going to do that. Oh, the computer is breaking. I don't know why. What's so great, though, is the stream is fine because I have a stream PC. So instead of my computer entirely being bricked, it's just the gaming PC. December 9th trust. I mean, brother, you have no clue. Isle of Thunder Tuesday, raid on Thursday. Wow, the computer is really shitting the bed here. I'm closing a bunch of windows. I might honestly have to restart this thing. It's shitting the bed. What is happening? Ugh. Let's do this. Usually it's 1 month after raid tests. I honestly could see them pushing it until early January. I think the earliest it could be is mid-December. Probably that date. The latest, I would guess, is mid-January. But we just don't know, right? We just don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be before. Would you like to put a wager? No, Nightmare. Also, Nightmare, I don't want to be, like, rude, but you coming in here all high and mighty and being so sure is annoying. You don't know. You saying you know is all well and good, but you don't know. Blizzard themselves don't know. They have a goal, sure, but they could miss that goal depending on how fucked up the raid is, right? So it's like, I'm not disagreeing that it's not a possible date, but you're just full of shit. You don't know. Until they're ready to push the button, it could be any day. All right. Am I wrong? I'd love to be wrong. Oh my god, the stream PC today is working incredibly well. Because my regular computer is shitting the bed. Why am I using half of my memory with no programs open? I got to clip that so I can send it back to you. Nightmare, I'm about to ban you, dude. Holy fuck, you're annoying. Listen, man. You could be right. But you don't know. And if you are right, great. That will be great. But you don't know. Am I crazy? I'm crazy. I'm getting rage baited for sure. It's Steam that's breaking me. Well, the 9th is a Tuesday. The raid would be Thursday if that is the case. However, dude, is Steam mining Bitcoin on my computer right now? It is. Steam is mining Bitcoin. End task. Steam Web Helper just keeps popping open. And I don't know why. I'm about to uninstall Steam. End task. It just keeps popping open. Help me figure this out. Why? Why? What is desktop Windows Manager? Is that literally what I'm looking at? End task. 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 It just keeps popping open. That's different than the overlay. Okay, but why do I have why is my memory so fucked? Why does it say I'm using 57% of my memory right now when nothing is open? Go to performance on the left. This just seems like insane. I don't know, man. Zero's just playing on Xbox right now. Alright. Well, I think things are fine now. I closed everything. Creative Cloud? Yeah. I use it. And Steam Deck is closed. Yeah, something is up with my PC Torp. Absolutely. I need to like wipe it. Okay. Let's open the thing. We're gonna do it later. When was the last time I restarted? It's been a while, but we're gonna do it later. I've been doing a ton of stuff around edits and shit. So we're going to talk about what's the fight? Megera. Megera, Throne of Thunder. And then we will get into the Impossible. And how are you, bud? Nightmare, I'm sorry for yelling at you. I hope you understand my yelling comes from love. Also, Olive's here. Everybody. What? Everybody say hi. I moved her heating pad back in here because it's been less sunny in the living room, so now she's back here. Oh, her belly is so warm. Your belly is so warm. Nightmare, no. Tortos won't be a brick wall, but Council, I think Council will be. I think... Shot caller? No, it's not a shot caller. Tortos isn't too bad, I think, with modern weak auras. Council is going to be a pain in the ass, and I think Primordius is going to be hard. Honestly. We'll see about Animus. I don't think Durumu is too bad, personally. I think the boss guide is going to go a long way towards explaining Animus and GKP, oh boy. I think Animus isn't actually going to be that bad. You're just going to have to get all of your DPS to learn how to tank. That's going to be a big thing. All right. So let's talk about... All right, we've been stalling for way too long. Let's talk about Megera. So, Megera is a fight that... all right, so welcome to the second part. Actually, this fight will be in the first part on the YouTube thing. So now we're moving on to Megera. Megera is a Hydra-like boss that in order to spawn him, you need to ring 4 bells in this room. And so you got to kill trash around this little hallway and ring the 3 bells. Ring the 3 bells, and then Megera will spawn. So there's going to be some interesting, like, tech with regards to that trash. I assume you have to kill the mob. It's like a Mogu ghost spirit thing in front of the bell in order to have it be ringable. So we'll see how much actual trash you have to do. But the goal is to ring the bell, spawn the heads, and then from there, I think this fight's going to be pretty easy because we've kind of solved what the best order is. It's one of those fights that you can do it in many different ways, but ultimately there is a best way because one of the heads is especially dangerous, and so you just don't ever kill it, which makes it more difficult if you kill it. You just kill the other head over and over. So yeah, we'll talk about the normal guide. This is quick guide to heroic Megera, but we want the normal one. Why is this 55 minutes?
Today we're looking at the heroic Megera
55?
fight on Throne of Thunder, or in Throne of Thunder even. And this fight is a fair difficulty jump from normal.
Okay, a quick guide to heroic Megera. 12 minutes. 12 minutes is quick.
This is a quick guide for heroic Megera in Throne of Thunder. And as usual, if you're looking for the full guide, just click the annotation on screen. Let's do this. For your raid composition, you'll want 2 tanks and 2 to 3 healers. I would strongly recommend 3 healers.
This is 10-man, unfortunately, but it's pretty relevant either way.
As this fight has some of the highest sustained damage to the raid of any encounter in this entire zone. And you frequently have to deal with that. So 3 heals is going to be probably the best
I didn't
method,
slander. I just said it's relevant.
So the biggest change on heroic is the addition of a new head type called the arcane head.
So, okay, this is the issue with these guys. So he's talking just about heroic. That's why my guides are only for heroic. I'd rather start hard and explain it all than start easy and have you watch 2 videos. Either way, the normal mechanic, there are 3 heads, poison, frost, and fire, and then heroic, he adds an arcane version. The hardest head really is the poison one, but
this will
we
start of the fight in the back in the concealing fog.
You're born hard,
and its general ability is to spawn these little worm ads that will appear throughout most of the phases of the encounter. And dealing with nether worms is a big part of learning the.
So ultimately, the way that this fight works is there are 2 layers. There is close and far, and depending on where the heads are, either close or far, they do different abilities, okay? And if they're far, they don't need to be tanked, but they do need to be, their mechanics still need to be dealt with. And if they're close, they do need to be tanked, and they do slightly different stuff. your goal is to kill, like, is it 6 heads? 7 heads? I can't remember how many total. But you want to kill them until the boss is dead, ultimately. It's 7? Okay, it dies on 7.
Fight. So there are a number of ways you can deal with the worms.
Every so often, he also does something called a rampage, which is just a massive amount of raid damage the whole time. It goes out. Rampage is when you use your raid CDs. And ideally, you're stacked outside of a specific scenario that you'll never have to worry about because we deal with it a certain way. So, yeah.
The way that we're using in this video is to actually have one of our tanks, our monk tank in this case.
This is the poison head over here.
But instead to just be full-time dealing with the worms. So as soon as they spawn, he grabs them and does his best to DPS and interrupt them so that they don't cast as much. If you allow them to cast, they'll do a spike and bolt on random players for very heavy damage, as well as...
So the arcane head spawns mana worms when it's in the back.
Channeled ability.
So you want to stun and interrupt them and kill them as fast as possible.
So, whether you have a...
So they just killed the frost head. Now the arcane head is close and the frost head is far.
You want to deal with these worms right away as quickly as you can. Now the spawn timings of the worms does depend a bit on which head you are killing and at which time you're doing it. So for example, you'll just get one set per spawn period against the first 2 heads. Then you won't get any against the third head because the third head is actually the purple one that's coming from the back. So you don't get any ads the first time you fight the first arcane purple.
On heroic or on 25 man, there's 4 heads, I believe. All 4 are active at any one time, except 2 are close and 2 are far. You'll never see 3, I believe, at any one time in the close position.
But then the second round, you'll have 2 purples in the fog, so you'll get twice as many ads during that period. So generally speaking, the second round of this fight, going through the heads, is going to be more difficult than the first, just due to the ads.
That's true, Nightmare, they do. He does.
So on heroic, the abilities...
Lusenia, hello, how are you? Lusenia, I'm going to VIP you.
...are increased in difficulty and much more damage.
Lusenia is helping with a project, and she is the goat.
How you deal with them. So the first one is for the venomous head.
Okay, so here there's 5 heads up right now. So,
the green one. And while this is in the fog, it will...
Oh, there's 6 even.
Rain, which
it gets insane. There's a... You shouldn't be honored. It doesn't mean anything. There's a lot going on in this fight, but there's only ever a couple things you have to ever really worry about. And notice how the raid's mostly stacked. You will be mostly stacked on this fight outside of a couple moments. There's also a mechanic that somebody gets targeted with a fire pulsing thing that leaves shit on the ground that needs to be dispelled. So if that person gets that ability, they jump into the water, and you dispel that person in the water so as to make them safe and drop their stuff off in a place that no one's going to stand otherwise. If you are ever in the water, it'll yeet you. So you want to not be in the water for very long.
Target random range or raid members and do an AE. However, on heroic, instead of casting 1 globule,
that's the cinders right there. So Takani has it. This guy with X.
It will cast 3.
So see, he's running out and he's dropping it.
For this very reason, it is very, very uncomfortable.
We don't like in our studying. This positioning is not really what I would go with. I would probably have the whole raid stand as close to the edge as possible so that if you do get that cinders on you, you just jump in, dunk yourself, get dispelled, and then you jump back out.
Common for raids to kill the venom head throughout the...
Now, there's this frost beam thing. It works pretty much like Amber Scalpel on Amber Shaper, but it leaves a blue shit on the ground. So you want to try to get this out of the raid as fast as possible because there are areas that you want to leave clear, especially up close to the boss for the melee. So
fight. because
And if you drop a fire over the ice, it gets rid of the ice and leaves a fire patch. If you drop the ice over the fire, it leaves the ice and removes the fire patch.
dealing with 3 of those bombs at the same time,
What's up,
especially if
Big
you're unlucky with positioning, is a good way to be one shot pretty quickly. So, just as you see,
So
in the
somebody
video here,
dropped
we never kill the
cinders
green head
in the
so
raid.
that we never
I'll
get
be
any
sitting
of the
down so I don't
globule bombs
fucking
that
destroy
form.
my tool.
Thank you, Apok, for the Prime, brother.
The second change is the frozen head when it casts icy ground.
Icy
which
ground.
targets a ranged member. and
Targets a
chases
ranged
them with
member,
the beam.
chases them with the beam.
The area of effect that this hits is about twice the size over time. So it will expand over the minute duration that it's active. Basically what this just means is that the amount of space you have originally is smaller, but the ground itself will increase
Now
in
we're
size.
employing
So
a
maximum
interesting
use-
strategy with the ice in order to prevent it from ever really risking being dropped by the raid, which you'll see on PTR. But it's going to require people to pay the fuck attention. So we'll see if that happens.
of the space you have to kite those beams away. The best way to do this generally is to have quadrants of the room, sections that your range players stand at max range
What's up,
in,
Funk?
and when they're targeted, they run straight back, hugging the side of an existing patch of the ground. And this will maximize
Chi
the
torpedo,
space.
new tech? Yeah, I wouldn't use Chi
The best
torpedo.
technique we came
especially
up
on
with
this fight.
to deal with the icy ground is basically to have our ranged members on the rough side of the room that we're attacking the current head at. So, for example, right
I think
here, on the
RJW
purple
is
head,
just so good on this fight.
our ranged players are kind of on the left side. Where the
If you die with the ice beam, it retargets a random player, including tanks. It is very bad for keeping space clear. Yeah, you don't want to die with the ice beam. That's for sure. It's really not hard to dodge, but everyone's got that guy who's just brain is off all the time. That one hunter who can't do Amber Shaper. That one hunter who has to open up his spellbook to taunt. That's you? No, it's not you, Lucenia. That guy, we all know him. We all love him. His name, he sounds like this.
You know, God gave you something called a brain.
That's what he sounds like.
purple head is, and they run the beams along.
Maybe he
the
never
left
got
side.
Thor at all.
When we're on the rightmost head, so not the green one, since you never kill it, but the red one, then all the beams go along the right side of the room.
So yeah, you never kill the green one. You never kill it. It's bad. So you're always killing the other three.
And then finally, the blue head in the middle.
Cabs, I can't help
Beams
but
go
laugh
in
at
the
my own
center.
jokes. What do you want me to
So
say?
if your ranged are split roughly in those quadrants when attacking those heads, they'll be within range to DPS and heal, but also able to keep the beams kind of in a general area away
That's why
from
you
the
love
rest
me.
of them. And finally, the extra change for the red head on cinders is that in addition to cinders applying a dot and being dispellable like normal, every 3 seconds that
Wait,
it's
sorry.
active on a player before it's dispelled, it will drop a flame patch, just as if it was dispelled. So essentially what this means is that holding the cinders does not really help you a whole lot on heroic. Whereas on normal you can hold it and run through an ice patch if you want to clear it out. But on heroic you're going to just simply run through and replace that ice patch with fire patches.
Where'd dog go?
Now the fire patches are smaller in
Here.
radius than the ice, so if you really need the space you can do that. But generally speaking, we found it was just better to dispel as soon as possible. So for cinders on ranged players, we dispel immediately. And for cinders on melee, we dispel as soon as they move out of the melee stack position.
I'm
just a few yards out.
we're not gonna. I'm interrupting this real quick to say I'm gonna be getting a nice DSLR camera soon. Hi, right there. It'll be right there. It'll be very cool. And when I do get it, I'm gonna turn this camera into the olive cam. So I'll mount it on the wall, like over here, and it will point down and have a little light so you can see her straight from the bed. It'll be pretty cool. You have a TLDR camera? All right. Back to
out. So there are a few different strategies, but I'm only going to talk about the one you see in the video here, because that's the footage we have. Again, if you want full details of other strategy options, then check out the full guide for a lot more information on that. So basically what we do is on the first set of heads, as you see here, we tank them like normal. So our paladin tank's on the blue and our monk tank's on the green, and that's pretty standard. However, once the blue head dies, from this point forward in the rest of the fight, our paladin tank is the only tank to have threat on both heads throughout the rest of the phase, or the fight.
Oh,
What
interesting.
this means is that he'll be in melee range of whichever head our DPS are killing.
Nightmare, I think
So
she
it'll
would
be
get
red
more
on
views.
this
That's true.
upcoming phase here. While the green head is aggro on him, he built up threat on it during the rampage, but no one else, including the tank, is within melee range of the green. This will cause the green head to shoot a bolt at random players pretty frequently that does heavy damage. But otherwise, it just uses its breath attack on the tank when that cooldown comes up like it normally would. So you're basically trading a lot less melee damage for a bit more random raid damage. But by doing this method, as long as you have the healing to keep your tank alive, you can, again...
Riani, this is the short one. The long one is 55 minutes. Hi, T-Dev. How are you? The first 4 bosses were yesterday, and Cosine was here, and he was just talking shit the whole time. He's like, hurry up to the next one. It's like, fuck off, dude.
And designate one tank, like we're doing here, to handle the worms entirely. And this will help a great deal.
So
the
I don't think this is the strat necessarily, unless I'm mistaken, that we're going to employ. But you do really want to keep these nether worms interrupted, stunned, prevent them from getting anywhere near. T-Dev, is the Hydra a dick? If it's not a dick, you can do it. If it is a dick, I'll allow it once. Although auto mod might fuck you up. We'll see. The rampage is where you're going to be using your raid CDs. We also have this really cool infographic stuff that a guy in my Discord posted named Taliador. So we can kind of see some of the interesting mechanics. These are pinned in my Discord if you're interested in them. Rampage. After each head is killed, Megera deals a massive raid-wide damage for 20 seconds, and it increases with each head killed. So this is where you're going to be using your barriers, your devos, your rallies, your... I wonder if demo works on this. I don't know. Stuff like that. And I believe this is physical damage, so you can't ret or prop paladin devo it. Olive, what are you doing? What are you doing? The flaming head does a frontal, which stacks for a stacking debuff for 45 seconds. So I think generally you would taunt swap off this, but I think it dies fast enough that you don't really have to worry about. It does the cinders, which applies that dot that explodes after a few seconds. So you're going to dunk yourself in the water to get dispelled, which is really easy. Yeah, rammers for sure. We like to min-max in MMOs, and everybody likes dealing DPS, or most everybody. So, I mean, we were 2 healing most of Heart of Fear last week. So, Rampage is magic damage, Riani? Oh, interesting. I thought it was physical. Okay, cool. So you can ret and prop pally. Dude, honestly, this raid, the more that I've seen of it, seems like a very good paladin, priest, monk raid. There are so many things that I'm like, damage amp. The Mistweaver and the Disc Priest are going to fuck shit up on this fight. And a prop paladin and a ret paladin, even the holy paladin, you're spread so much that Devo seems like a very, very good raid CD. Now, The issue with Paladin, again, is that it doesn't deal damage to heal like the other healers might, like the Disc and the Mistweaver. So you may drop it, and you need and the Resto Shaman does Spirit Link, which is really nice, but you do need to be stacked, and it does Stormlash. So it's hard to drop the Resto Shaman. Also, none of the DPS Shamans want to use Lust, or want to press Bloodlust, so... I'm not sure the Holy Paladin's going to be meta for this raid outside of I'm not sure. Yeah, Bop's really solid. I'm wondering if you run a prop Paladin. Riani, I'd be interested to hear about your takes on what the tank situation might be for this raid. I think everybody's kind of agreed that Brewmaster is at least part of it. But that second tank, I've seen a lot of discussion, and I'm not sure there is a answer. Yeah, I think that a lot of people are talking about Druid, which I'm finding very interesting because Druid was considered pretty shit up until recently. And yeah, Warlock tank Tina for sure. And then I think Prop Paladin also has a lot of potential because of being able to bubble. There are some mechanics in this raid that if you can bubble it off, you are going to be able to kind of cheese some stuff. So yeah. To be fair, Basher, I'm not totally interested in, I mean, I am, but like right now I'm thinking about what's going to be good for prog, for that first race. I'm not really totally interested in what gets good over time. And I'm not sure Prop Paladin's going to cut it for prog. So yeah. And then what Riani, his parentheses there, I think is the most interesting part of this. They are making balancing changes, or have up to this point, because the devs seem to be pretty interested in adjusting the classes so that they are all within some window of viability. And so we don't know. I mean, the tanks got shuffled pretty dramatically towards the end of beta. So we're going to see. I think you're going to take the monk no matter what. But I think after that, I'm not sure. I think, is there a DPS tier list available? Kaizen, I don't make tier lists. That's better content creators make tier lists than I do. I always find tier lists to be clickbait and not super useful, and creates resentment when the person who uses that tier list as a quick source finds it not to be super accurate. It also is extremely context dependent. So I think right now you'll find the best classes for rating are kind of everything. Hunter is losing a lot of steam for sure. We're going to continue this in a second. Hunter's losing steam. I think Warrior is very, very good. Maybe not for its personal DPS, but for the utility that it brings to the raid. It also doesn't really compete for a ton of gear with other classes. You don't really bring a ton of rets and stuff. I think Ellie and Enhance are both S tier right now, which is really cool. I think Warlock is on its way to S tier, and it should be. People say that this version of Warlock in MoP is the most fun Warlock ever was. Mage seems to be getting pretty good. Right now, it's at the top of the list in terms of DPS according to Warcraft logs, but I don't think that that's... Oh, there we go. I don't think that's totally accurate. in terms of like actual impact. DKs are really, really fucking good. I mean, everything's good. Rogues are insane. Everything's good right now. Everything's good right now. I know that answer is not what you wanted to hear. You wanted me to just tell you, but yeah, warriors and shamans, I think, bring the most DPS to a raid, even though their personal DPS might not be the best. If in aggregate, they bring the most for the raid as a whole. A lot of people are joking that they're going to be using 18 shamans in raids. No, rogues are not going to be bad. I disagree. Hunters are very good. Hunters are a very important class. I would say you need to bring 2 hunters to every raid. I don't think that people saying that you shouldn't are like hunters, like Clipser is saying, are able to move and not lose any DPS for it. And so you want to I honestly think you put your best players on Hunter, because they're the people that need to be doing their normal rotation nearly perfectly while also doing mechanics most of the time. And those are the kind of players that you put on Hunters. Unfortunately, in my guild, that doesn't seem to be what we've done. For most people, the OPDPS will be the easiest to use. Change my mind. Yeah, Pastorino, that's mostly true, but only not because it is the easiest, but because the numbers will just generally be higher. Bocard, I disagree. It's the only pure DPS class that's not topping right now. The argument that they can do it on the move is sort of weak, in my opinion, with Ellie, Af, etc. Basher, that was Diet Pepsi, for the record. I disagree, Bocard. There are a lot of mechanics in this raid that are going to require you to be moving all the time. And I think that you will find some of them favor certain classes over others, and those classes are going to suffer considerably on those fights. But they'll be better at other fights. Hunter's always going to be good. I think the average for Hunter's always good. So, yeah. You also need the people that do the mechanics. Like, you need that. And those are team players. Yeah, I mean, like the people that can play a hunter well and do the things that will wipe your raid if you don't do right are super, super important, valuable players. I mean, go look at fucking Progress. State, I would argue their best player is playing hunter. So that's my take on it. Am I right? Who fucking knows? I'm just an idiot. Those are good for raid leading. I've actually noticed Disc Priest is really good for raid leading too, because most of my heals, I don't even have to look at who I'm healing. I just have to spam smite and watch the raid frames, and just like react to stuff. So Foji said that in Kata. He's like, dude, Disc is the best for raid leading because you don't have to do shit. You just have to sit and spam smite. And I think it's even more so in Mob, because you have the 40-yard range and stuff. Okay, we're going to get back to Megera. That was a loud dalliance. I also have to leave in like an hour, so we're going to have to rush through this. Okay. Candy, yeah, I'm right there with you. The fight is single target DPS patchwork fight with the illusion of AoE on arcane worms, but the worms don't matter. 2d10, yes. These cheat sheets are posted in my Discord if you want them. They were created by a lovely member of my community named Thaliador. He has not done all of them. He's done up to Durumu, but he's going to be making them as we go. If you're interested in seeing jump in my Discord for more information. The multi-chat YouTube, which I'm sorry, I clicked off of Face J. I missed your comment, but I don't have the command in my YouTube, but I will post the Discord for you guys in YouTube chat also right now. Give me a second, I'll do it. Also, hi YouTube chatters, how are you guys? I want to be engaging more with my YouTube chat. And then I was thinking about doing like all the other ones also, but why did I log out of this? 1 second, let me do this. I just changed my password and it is fuck. It is I got it. Zardan, yeah, of course. I have more subs on YouTube than I do on Twitch, but for some reason I have not been streaming on YouTube because it's been difficult to set up and I'm an idiot. But I think I got it. I just need to fix all the alerts and stuff. So once that's done, it'll be the same scenario. All right, it's loading. Hold on. All right, so we're back to Megera. And like Candy said, it's a single target fight because you're only ever killing one head. You're not killing the poison head. So as such, any of that extra damage is pretty useless. But you do need to make sure you're dealing with those worms. That's the only like extra thing that your damage matters. So as such, sorry. All right, YouTube chat, I'm posting my Discord link here if you want to jump in my Discord. Okay. So cinders, it applies that dot that drops a fire circle on the ground. You were to jump into the water to get dispelled. It's super important that you don't dispel it or drop that flame in the raid because you really want that beach front to be clear of fire. Additionally, it does that ignite flesh, which is the frontal that stacks for on the tank. Just the tank just needs to turn the head away. Oh, Torrent of Ice. The frost head will fixate on a random player. Oh yeah, each head only does one of these abilities if it's close or far. If it's an active head and you're actively tanking it, then it will do that ability. If it's not active and it's in the back, it'll do the other one. The reason that we don't kill the poison one is because acid rain, when it's in the back, is super spooky. So this lets us mostly stack, not worry about positioning, which is nice. Okay, so the frost head, when it is in the back, it will fixate that beam on random players, range player, and it'll leave the icy ground. You're probably gonna drop this off in Narnia with some shenanigans, which we'll see on PTR how we do it. But I think with some planning, it'll be pretty cool. And then the active version, it will do the frontal, which stacks on the tank for 20 seconds at 5 stacks. I'm pretty sure you're not going to have to tank swap this because you'll kill it fast enough that the tank won't get 5 stacks. Acid Rain, which is when it's in the back. Honestly, I don't even want to go through it because you're not going to have to worry about it. And then Wrought Armor, it's a frontal. All of them do that frontal, that do a debuff. And if you're facing him away, it's not a big deal. And then the Arcane one, which is the heroic only head, Nether Tear, spawns the worms. They do the interrupt that you need to do, and then they do a damage reduction buff. It's like a circle around them, like power barrier. You need to stun or dispel. And then there's, when it's active, it does a frontal. Healing received is directed to players within 8 yards. I don't know how that works. Let's look at this. Diffusion, Arcane Head, Megera. Players affected will cause 10% of their healing to diffuse and heal nearby players within 8 yards. This can help spread healing critical moments, but also means individual healing is reduced. Huh. So maybe you kind of like that. It can be wasted healing. Yeah, I mean, I guess during Rampage it can be kind of good because the whole raid's taking damage. Yeah, exactly what Riani said. So I guess you could. It only hits the tank, so you could ostensibly single target and dump a bunch of heals into the tank. No, but Candy, it's a debuff, so you can put that, the debuff goes on the tank, and then you can heal the tank, and it just spreads the heals to everybody around them. Wait, huh? Yeah, on the next Rampage. It also, so it's a cone, so maybe you as a healer could like you as a healer could do a thing. Oh, Riani, do you want to do 10-man at Throne launch? 10 a.m. Pacific? I don't know if you guys are raiding that first night. I think you probably are. It's 10 a.m. my time. Yes, it's 10 a.m. my time. They're pulling back the launch hour on Tuesday. Yes, I don't know if that's breaking news or not, but they're updating the blue post. So Tuesday night EU, it'll be earlier. So usually it's like 1 or 2 or 3 Pacific my time. I think it's like 1 usually my time. So it'll actually be at 10. So if that's early enough for you guys to do your 25, then never mind. But if it's not early enough and you are going to do 10-man that night, I would love to do one. I know Moon wants to do one from my guild, and I'm looking to do a 10-man for the first few hours Tuesday morning, in order to get my feet wet before we start our 25s, because 10 a.m. is a little early for my guild to get going. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be fun. I'm really excited. I'm doing 10-man, guys. Puckers asks, where can I find? Yeah, I figured, Riani. Okay, so the updated raid schedule, I will tell you guys right now what it is exactly. It is it starts at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, the 4th. Pacific. That's 1 p.m. Eastern. And I assume like 6 p.m. UK. Something like that. I don't know. How many hours ahead is the UK? How many hours ahead of Pacific time is the UK? It's 7 hours ahead. So that is 5 p.m. UK is when it opens. I'm here. Something like that. Maybe it's 8. Whatever it is. Depending on daylight saving times. Gotcha. And then it closes. The raid's set to close Friday morning at 8 a.m. So every single region now gets a night. It gets the same amount of time. 3 nights and 3 days. Which I think is the best of all worlds. Personally, I'm a big fan of this. So, your Thursday main raid's now PTR night. Nice, dude. Nice, dude. What is Night Dev? Nightdev.com. I gotta fix this. Explore projects. How did I set this up? I don't know where this came from. I gotta fix my my Twitch. I'm totally yapping and delaying this fucking thing. Let's see if I can close this and do the other one. Or did I delete it? Chat overlay? Oh, I moved it. Properties. Stream elements, chat overlay. Okay. Can someone chat or type something and I'll see if this works? Is this thing on? There we go. That's better. And it's going upwards. All right, cool. There, that's a little better. That's easier to see. All right. That's a better overlay. So yeah, I'm gonna be hi Grassy, how are you, bud? Nice to see you, dude. All right, we're gonna do the rest of Megera.
Only caution is that you have to be.
But this is one of the easier fights, and it's easier because we know how to do it. Riani, I might be down to do that also. What time is 2 p.m. my time for you? It's probably really early. It's probably like 6 a.m. I need to do 10-man really badly. I need to get 10-man VODs. Unemployed people only? I'm unemployed. Are you unemployed? I thought you worked. Coach some kids in sports. Good for you, dude. Okay, we're going to move on from Megera. So the next boss is Ji-Kun. This is also one of the easier fights. Again, you have to kill 7 heads and then Megera dies. The next boss is Ji-Kun. Foji is going to pretty much solve this fight for us. He's been previewing me all of the weak auras and they're pretty rad. Dude, look, 41 minutes for a Ji-Kun guide. Insane. Insane. I so wish she had said 6, 7 heads. I did pretty much say 6 to 7 earlier, and then they corrected me that it was 7, but I did not mean to say 6, 7.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Gabe's here. This is the quick guide for heroic Ji-Kun.
Megera. Jaxos, no, he doesn't. Megera, Ji-Kun, Tortos, and what's the other boss? Horadon are all beasts. So that's why Troll is probably BIS for most DPS classes outside of a couple classes being warrior, because you get 5% damage to beasts in this raid. Additionally, there's a lot of trash that are beasts in this raid. So if you're not Troll, I'd probably swap. The amount of people that I've seen arguing that they don't want to be Troll, so they're going another something else, is pretty high. All of my priests are now troll. I couldn't really bring myself to do anything else when I was looking at the race selection screen when I was transferring. Is what it is. Maybe I go Blood Elf after.
As usual, if you want the full guide with a lot more detail, click on the annotation.
Range Omit's better than min-max BS.
Otherwise,
I
let's get
agree.
started with the
If you're not in a top 20 or top 30 guild, 1,000%, Kala. 1,000%. But for me, I try to bring as much as I can to the raid in terms of output. And that means I have to go troll.
Through. For your raid composition, you'll want 2 tanks and 2 to 3 healers. Pretty standard.
Okay, so just to stop him here. So this fight consists of a bird in the center of the room. This is Ji-Kun, and then there are Eclipser. This raid is incredible. This raid. I wouldn't say it's as good as Ulduar, but it's pretty damn close. After that bridge, after council, that Lei Shen breaks, you fall into the sewers, right? There's like a big cave system, and you fight Tortos, and then you go down a hill, and you ring the bells, and then you fight Megera, and then you go through a gate up the sewers, and you reach Ji-Kun. So you're going to find this fight is a bit easier than the other ones, I think, as far as I understand it, because it's kind of solved. And the weak aura is going to help you a lot, because this fight is one of those things that's like, there's not a lot of room at the margins. So if people are on top of things, it's really easy because you just kill everything and it's not scary. But if you're a little bit slow here and there, things start to stack up and it becomes a lot harder to catch back up. So yeah, this is also another fight with a movement mechanic where it knocks you back. NQD, Lei Shen's not solved. Primordius isn't solved. There's a lot of fights that aren't solved. They're just hard. They're hard fights mechanically.
One of your healers to solo heal the main platform or not during quills. If you have a healer that's pretty strong that can stay on the platform full time, then you just need 2 healers in total, 1 other healer to deal with the other stuff. Otherwise, 3 healers is perfectly fine. One of your healers will generally not be doing anything except dealing with the nests. So that means 1 or 2 other healers are dealing with the main platform. So just like in normal, the basic requirement is that you handle the nests properly during this encounter. So I'm not going to go into...
Click here for animated nest guide, but he didn't do a thing. There's not a... Oh, this video is actually pretty short.
In very much detail at all, but if you click on the annotation there, you can link to
the
gone! Animated section for the full guide that talks about the nest management in complete detail if you want that.
If you miss your eggs, you can still kill the birds. But Kaizen, I think those are both good options. Ellie or enhancement are going to be very, very desirable in a raid for DPS wise. Both of them. I actually think enhancement might even be better than Ellie, but we'll see. And yeah, so this fight, there are nests scattered around the room. There's some that are up and some that are down. So you either drop down or you fly up with the buff that you get from the nest below, or there's one directly above you. The nests will activate every so often with a big red light, and you need to kill the eggs as soon as they spawn, or else they will hatch into birds and start throwing shit around you. And cutie, I'm Jewish, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. The goal being keeping the room clear of birds, because if a bunch of little birds spawn, they start dealing a bunch of damage to your raid and it becomes an issue. All that while you're dealing with Ji-Kun in the center, who does some various things. One of them is drops poison on the ground. One of them he throws food up into the air and you want to catch it, which gives you a buff. And another one is he does a giant pushback that you need to be very careful about, because if you're not paying attention, it'll push you off. So the goal is you have a movement speed ability of some kind, or some type of, heroic leap, whatever the fuck it is.
That said, the basic idea is you'll want approximately 3 players, 2 DPS and a healer, to handle the majority of the nests.
Ideally, you're waiting at the nest as soon as the eggs hatch, or as soon as the eggs are attackable. Because if they're not attackable, Clipster, yes, I will post all of these to YouTube. There's 3 videos. I'm gonna edit them down a little bit. The first 5 bosses will be in the first one, and then the next 4 will be in the next one. Did you guys see how fast Blizzard reverted old? Yeah, I don't know, Kala.
While the rest of your raid deals with the boss.
I'm glad that they changed it.
I'm the healer for that group, and then we have 2 melee DPS generally that will come with me, and together the 3 of us can handle the majority of the nests. The exception is that on Heroic, there are a few nests that will spawn Guardian adds in addition to the normal eggs that need to be tanked in some way. So you can use an actual tank, one of the 2.
I think you have to taunt off each other on Heroic, because there is a ad down below, but I think there's also a debuff on the tank that
long enough for the
means that you have to taunt.
So here you can see the 4th nest. The first one on the top is where a Guardian spawns, and one of our tanks, our Paladin tank, flies up here, while another DPS and myself come up here to help kill it off. Now, if you're just doing Heroic Ji-Kun for the first time, you'll want 3 other players besides the tank to have enough DPS to kill this stuff before.
Really, Morgan?
So you'd have 4 players total.
I can report it if you want.
This
I'm sure
requires that if you
know,
use a tank that's on the boss,
if you DM me like a
get
bug report, I'll
from
forward
the
it
nests at some point so they can fly up top. So our Paladin tank, he goes down on the first nest at the start of the fight and gets a feather there, and then he's able to fly throughout the rest of the fight when he needs to. Otherwise, just learn to.
He's got 2 range radars on his screen.
Guardians will spawn, and then you should be good.
Range radars don't work anymore in World of Warcraft, but it's not hard to not be next to somebody. You just kind of have to pay the fuck attention
from that point forward. Now, one thing you can do to really help your entire raid out is to maximize your use of feather when it comes to feed young. So right there you saw I clicked my feather because I had extra charge. So
that range
when
radars?
feed young is cast by Ji-Kun on the main platform, I've been able to fly up and touch one of the feed globules. This will give you the nutrient buff that lasts.
So this is the downdraft that pushes you back. Some classes are going to have harder time dealing with this than others. I think it lasts 6 seconds, right?
This will give you the...
Looks like 8 seconds. One thing priests can do is you can pre-place feathers behind players. And the move speed of feather is just about enough to counteract the pushback of the downdraft. So you can place 3, 1 behind you and then 2 behind 2 other people, and pretty much make it so that they don't have to worry about anything as long as they're just pushing forward. Yes, this fight will be a hunter strong point for sure. I completely agree. Because you can get the nutriment while DPSing, which most classes won't be able to do very well.
Nutrient buff that lasts 30 seconds and increases your damage and healing output. So try to distribute the extra feathers you have from the bottom nests among your raid members that don't have to actually use them to move between.
Also, Morgana, when are you coming to LA?
And any extras that you can get are then usable on Feed Young for that extra damage boost. So, for example, in our case, We have an extra DPS that goes down on green. Plus we have our Shaman DPS that's normally in the nest group, but sometimes he doesn't need to go to nests, so he can stay and use Feed Young buffs. We also have
I know it got canceled.
2 to 3
Sag.
completely different players that go down for the second bottom nest that also get feather charges that they can use. On Heroic, the feathers will give you 3 stacks of the flight buff, but you can have a maximum of 4. So if you have at least 1 stack and then you pick up a new feather, you will gain 4 stacks in total. Now, moving between nests is, of course, very important. So usually the nest group that you
So, Foji has a specific weak aura that you will want to match with your assignment sheets for this fight if you use Foji Pack. I'm not sure I can post it, but it's going to be in our assignment sheet. I'm sure I can post it, actually. Thanksgiving is the last Thursday, or the 4th Thursday. This is the Foji Pack mark orientation. So if you guys are making your own assignment sheets, you can use this. You're welcome. This is going to be reflected in our assignment sheet, which we are honestly almost done with. And I'm going to post the raid CD planner in my Discord for Throne probably tomorrow, that you guys can create your CD plans in if you want. However, it will just be the raid CD planner. It will not be the sheet itself. It'll be empty except for that. So that will come with our goal is to post the sheet before the second round of tests. But we'll see. We also have some really, really cool features in it. Guild roster management, split management. You can save bosses. Like, it's going to be fucking rad. There's going to be like autofill. Like, there's a ton of stuff that just makes it super easy to use. I highly recommend it. I know that I'm shilling for myself, but what the fuck else am I supposed to do? It's going to be on Patreon. I highly recommend it.
Sign, usually 3 players. We'll just use their feathers. To
what was your suggestion,
However,
Nakaya?
the bottom nests can be tricky to get to for players without feathers. So this green one, which is the 3rd bottom nest, for example, to get onto this nest, because it's so close to the platform, you can see here.
Multiple rosters. Yeah, the guild roster manager, it took him a lot of time to implement the way that he wanted to. And then with some adjusting, it's going to be really, really, really powerful. I think we have room for 5 or 6 splits right now. So you should be able to really just run your whole guild sheet on the assignment sheet, your whole guild roster on the assignment sheet, outside of loot tracking, which I'm planning on adding with Febe's help, as well as a bonus roll optimizer, which we're working on, or I should say, he's working on. We're trying to implement it. It's a whole thing, but it's going to be really cool once it's all built. He's also trying to do a priority system in terms of cooldown, so you can like get a lot of things automatically filled in for you. Throne, we don't know when the release date is. The PTR starts on Thursday, Mia Moore. I think my hairline's starting to go. I've been feeling a little self-conscious about it lately. I don't know, something's happening. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just. I feel like it's starting. I gotta start taking the thing. What do you guys think? Like lately, just like the last couple days, I've noticed. Maybe I'm fucking coping. Whatever.
on the edge, just above the nest, and then turn around so your back is facing the nest and back pedal off of the platform.
These are things you worry about in your 30s.
This will ensure that you always fall right on it. Similarly, the first nest in the bottom, at the very start of the fight, you can just walk right off facing forward and land on it fine. But the second bottom nest, you need some form of movement increase to reach it without a feather. So if you have a sprint...
I hope it's the
some
first week
form
of January
grade-wide
too,
sprint,
because I would like more time to make the guides. If it is December, the earliest it, or the latest it could be is the 18th. And that seems very unlikely, because if there's any issues, I assume Blizzard goes on break this week, right? So they would have a day and a half of active time. So it's either the 9th or the 9th and the 11th for launch, or it's the 8th. The 6th and the 8th. Or the 13th and the 15th, but that seems unlikely. You think the 11th? I don't know. It's either the 9th and the 11th or the 6th and the 8th is my guess. I'd be surprised if it's early December. I really would, but it's possible. It would be interesting, because I feel like the community would just be like, "Oh, I'm so bored" during like December. But if you're still playing MoP, I think you've got a little bit of stamina in terms of what you're willing to deal with. So I think you'd probably be okay with it.
That increases your movement speed, then you can use that and then just run straight off to get to the
Release
second
Isle
nest.
Thunder a week and a half before.
All the top
That's a
nests,
good
of course,
idea.
are flying
You could
up.
release the Isle Thunder before
So
the raid.
That's just pretty much using the feathers, but it's important to note how you actually need to move.
I like
to
that idea.
successfully land on the bottom nests. Tanking for this fight is pretty standard fare.
Release the island
but it's
during
important
the
that your tanks
holidays.
Try to use small,
If you want to play
minor
great.
cooldowns when Ji-Kun uses Talon Rake on the tank. Depending on how quickly your other tank is able to go up to handle a guardian spawn on a nest, that
The last mechanic on this fight is quills. Quills. It's just a bunch of AoE damage, and you can't really stack on this fight, so barrier doesn't seem very good. I don't know where you're gonna do it. I don't know how you're gonna deal with it, but all right, let's quickly look at the Ji-Kun infographic, and then we'll move on to Durumu. I have half an hour to finish this this thing. We're gonna get up to Primordius today. Rate dropping in December, 100%. It's usually a month after PTR. Yent, it's not 100%, brother. It's not 100%. I promise you. Not even Blizzard knows for sure. Even if they have a plan, it's not 100%. All right, let's find that infographic. Durumu. No, Durumu. Ji-Kun. Okay, again, so Ji-Kun has quills, massive AoE damage. You want to use your raid CDs. Paladins are very good with this one with Devo. This is physical damage, right? The quills? Someone confirm for me. Caw is a sound wave sent out by Ji-Kun. 8-yard radius where it lands. This is why you have to spread out. It's kind of like Shexier. It is physical damage? Okay, so yeah. Only... Oh, it staggers? Interesting. Token's 39k? Jeez. Remember when it was 5k? Remember that? It also has Talon Rake, which is a huge tank hit. Increases damage taken from Talon Rake. Talon Rake. Tanks must swap. Thank you, Akaya. And then feed young. It spits globs up in the air towards the nests. You want to intercept them to get a damage buff. Then there's downdraft. Again, you can place feathers behind people. You can grip people. Use your roars. Planned roars are really good. I assume it doesn't caw just before a downdraft. I could be wrong. So maybe you could like stack for a roar, stuff like that. The Patu, yes, absolutely. Throne of Thunder will be harder than Heart of Fear and Toes. And then there's Feed Pool, which is shit on the ground. Dodge them. Green Pool spawn if no nests active and food is not intercepted. Oh, I didn't realize that the Feed Pool is different or is the same thing as the Feed Young. I did not understand that. So if you see a bunch of green shit on the ground, you've kind of failed. You want to intercept them for a damage buff. I did not understand that. Okay, and then there's Nest Guardians. Big ads that spawn in the lower nest. They must be tanked away from the group. They do a cone. And then Daedalin Wing, it's the feather buff. And then multiple nest phases, easy clap. The strategy takes a swap on the Talon Rake. I assume there's going to be some vengeance shenanigans here. And then keep Ji-Kun faced away from the raid to avoid Caw. To avoid Caw? It's a cone? I thought this was just a hit somebody close. Or hit somebody on the platform. Let's look. Caw Ji-Kun. Ji-Kun cries out at 3 random players, sending piercing sound waves at their locations. Okay. So yeah, so it doesn't matter where you face it. This is a mistake. Cool. Or this is a mistake. DPS need to split into nest teams, grab the feed pools for the primal nutriment buff, and then healers need to use CDs during Quill. Range spread loosely on the main platform, avoid the edges during downdraft, and then players collect feed, and they should jump carefully using the updrafts. Heroic adjustments, they're multiple nests active, they require probably 4 coordinated groups, I think is a better way to deal with it. Maybe 3, I'm not sure exactly. The overlapping quills and downdraft require raid CDs, and there's strict timing for flying and nest clearing. Always have a turtle feather updraft buff before leaving the nests. Pre-planned cooldown rotation for quills, and then use a primal nutriment during quills for a high DPS output. Use primal nutriment during quills? How does the primal nutriment work? Primal... Do you have to, like, eat it yourself for a buff? Primal nutriment... increases damage done by 100% and healing done by 30%. Oh, it does healing, too. Damn, Disc is so bonkers on this one. Sky Shard, Rare Mob, Alive, and Mega Server, Dead Game. Yeah. Comments. You just fly over him in order to get the buff. Yeah, I'm surprised people... I'd be willing to bet there's going to be some shenanigans in terms of people opting to everybody... Like, they go get a feather, and then they just use the feather for the buff. And they don't then re-engage with the nests. It lasts for what, 200%? Or 30 seconds? 30 seconds is not that long, actually. It's an actual strat, yes, yeah. There's going to be some fun min-maxing on that. Why during quills? I guess that's just to do more healing. Do you use the primal nutriment, or does it just happen as when you catch it? I think it probably just happens when you catch it, right? It's not a thing in your bags. Or an ability you get. It happens when you catch it. Okay, cool. Thank you, Akaya. Akaya, I appreciate the help. Oh, when you stand in the pools, it gives you the buff too? But not for 30 seconds, just when you're in the pool? Unless you catch it. It sucks up the pool. Oh, okay. Well, it's totally worth getting then, even if you miss it. It's probably better if you miss it, honestly. That's not how it works. That doesn't make a ton of sense, but whatever. We'll move on and we'll talk about it we'll deal with it when we get there. All right, Durumu. This fight is notoriously silly. Durumu's is a beholder. I don't know if you guys have played D&D much, but a beholder is like a gigantic eye monster. It is yeah, that's he messed it up, Doc. Again, if you guys are looking for these little cheat sheets, they are in my Discord. They were created by a member of my community named Thaliador. He's dope. He just made these for his guild, and they're really fun helping out. Good luck explaining Durumu. Yeah, it's a little Durumu's a little complicated. We're not going to get too far into it, but I'm going to try to explain it as best I can. I also don't fully understand it. I learned about it yesterday because I was like, I don't totally get how this fight works. Let's go look it up. And then I was like, oh, I still don't totally get how it works, even after looking it up for a while. So we're going to look at the heroic Durumu.
Hey everyone, Gabesty here.
Gabe's here. Oh, I jumped.
If you're looking for the fully recommendation to get rid of the
all right
fight.
So there's Durumu is a beholder. He does I-beam stuff, right? Gabe said, Gabe Warren, what's up? I-beam stuff means he does. Akaya, you should go watch the Jin Rock guide. There's a ton of bodies on the floor for Jin Rock, like way more than this. It's funny. The I-beams have colors, and each color does different things, but they also kind of do the same thing. And then there's also a couple other colors that do like a knockback. This is the one with the maze, yes. I actually think this fight isn't too hard so long as people understand it. There are going to be people who don't understand. There's ice walls, yes, in the maze. Doc, yes, you'll see in a second. I know, Akaya, right? And so if everybody in the raid understands, it's kind of like Amber Shaper, Zoto, in that if anybody doesn't get it and then they get picked for the mechanic, it's a wipe. That's what I mean, Zoto. Versus the things like, you know, if you stand in the thing, then just you die. But in this fight, if any one person doesn't do the thing, it's usually a wipe because they're just like, oh, and then they just die.
If you have a paladin in your raid, you can use Hand of Protection to get rid of the serious wound stacks. In our case, we chose to get rid of the stacks every time it got above 5.
So this is another one of those fights that a bubble is super valuable. You'll see that in a few fights in Throne. That's why Paladin seems to be the play here. I mean, Zoto, this raid's fucking dope. It's super vibey. It's not Basher. No, the cheat sheets are just in the TOT for you and me channel. I'm gonna pin this other one that he posted. They're pinned in the TOT for you and me channel. All right, let me move this.
So 6 stacks or higher, Hand of Protection is used on the paladin, and the stack is dropped.
So
the exception is just going into a
that what you just saw there, that's Force of Will. It's actually one of my favorite abilities in this raid because of the speed. Yeah, I'll turn the video up. Because of the speed with which it knocks you back. If you're standing in it when it goes out, it's just a cone that just goes boop. Everybody just gets boosh, like straight back. And if you're a priest and you're very fast, you can save somebody with a grip. It is possible. It's just going to be hard, but you'll be considered a giga chat if you're able to pull it off.
Integration beam.
That's why I'm honestly saying disc priests are the fucking goats. The amount of utility and raid saving shit that they can do, it's not just throughput, it's like weird fiddly stuff like move speed and moving people and DPS and just like dispels and just like weird little mechanically interesting things.
You do not need to remove the stacks because they should fall off.
All right, so really quick, he's talking about something, but we're gonna interrupt. So right there are these pools pop, and what these are invisible ads spawning. Mentalin is probably enough for bubbles, or running Holy Paladin instead of Resto Shaman is an option. Mentalin, I honestly, I don't think you need a Paladin for any of this. I think a Prop Paladin's probably a great option for 10 man in this raid. I wouldn't run a Holy Paladin over Resto Shaman. I think that, I mean, my BIS 10 man comp is Brewmaster Monk, Prot Warrior, Rogue, Hunter, Unholy DK, Ret Paladin, Ellie Shaman, Warlock, Disc Priest, Resto Shaman. I think that's my BIS comp. What that raid doesn't have is a Druid or a Mage. But I think that's my BIS 10-man comp. That's 2 warriors. Maybe you drop... Maybe it's 1 warrior. I can't remember. You do need a paladin if you want to one-tank anything, but you don't need to one-tank anything. So... Prot Warrior's oof and 10-man. Okay, maybe you do the Prot Paladin over the Prot Warrior, and then you drop the Ret Paladin and you go with like a Arms Warrior. Maybe that's what it was. I can't remember where I put it. I had a thumbnail for a video that I didn't end up doing, and I spent money on getting it made, and then I just didn't make the video. Let me see if I can find it. Here, it's this one. This was my BIS 10-man comp. But I guess in this case, you probably swap the Ret to Prot Warrior, the Ret to Prot Paladin, and the Prot Warrior to Arms Warrior. Hi. Kyle's home. He went to Google HQ for a week. Everybody say hi to Kyle. You like the panda belly? Yeah. Who's Kyle? It's my brother. You really should have, Unholy to Blood DK plus Arms Warrior. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the idea here is that there is something called, Force of Will, I believe. No. What is it called? Light Spectrum, I believe, right? Where all of these ads spawn, and then 3 players are marked with a beam. Red, yellow, and blue. Sorry, Denali. So, Denali, thank you very much.
AoE the goddamn ads. AoE the fuck out of the ads.
Thank you very much for the tier 1.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank Denali for me. Olaf says thank you. So those players have beams, and when those players get near these ads, which are the blue, the red, and the yellow, they then reveal these ads to everybody else in the room. And they can be DPS'd. So the goal here is to move around the room in such a way that you reveal the ads kill them in a specific scenario and then clear the room of the ads. Now, I don't think you need to kill the yellow ones, but if the red one isn't killed, wait, is it, which one is it? You don't have to kill the blue ones. I know that. I think you can kill the yellow ones, and you want to, one of them, if the beam leaves it, you wipe. You have to kill both reds. Okay. Some you don't want revealed. Okay. The yellow one will just move around the room. What happens if you do reveal the blue? Is that how you spell gist, Akaya? I actually don't think I've ever realized how you spell. I think it's J-I-S-T. G-I-S-T? You're Danish, fair enough. Who knows? You guys are tulip people. Who knows? Jizz-T, yes, exactly. Okay, but the whole raid can see the very second that these things spawn. For a split second where they are. So, but you have to be very, very, very aware. Now, if you can pause the video, it's easy to see. But when it's happening super fast, it's very hard to keep.
Exception is just going into a
Ready?
disintegration
Watch.
phase. You do not need to remove the stacks because they should fall off on their own during the
So
phase.
if you notice what happened is somebody is deputized to put a world marker down where they saw a specific color. Ideally, the color matches the color of the ad, but you just want to put a color down where the ad is so you know where it's at so that people can then act accordingly.
Not being attacked. Other than that, you'll want to use 2 or 3 healers as usual. I strongly recommend 2.
The yellow moves around the room no matter what. It just slowly rotates. The red and the blue are tied to a player. Now, if you're inside of the beam, it shares a certain amount of damage with everybody inside of the beam, right? So everybody in the blue splits that damage that the blue beam does. So if you're alone in the blue beam, you're going to get fucked. The goal is to not be alone in it. You want to split the damage. So you give everybody a beam color to stand in.
Healers, because 3 is overkill for most of the damage in this fight.
So now they're killing the red.
You spike healing per second, even during the high damage spectrum phases.
Grounding
Is not that
totem.
Great. And you can use all your
There's also these little dark parasite ads that have to do with a debuff.
cooldowns during these phases if you need to.
They're moving the beam around.
So for heroic,
If the two beams overlap, everybody within those beams splits both damage, I believe. So you want to avoid it as best you can. But if they do overlap, you want to quickly only get to the side that you're assigned to so that you're not taking both damage at the same time because it's a lot of damage.
the first edition is ice walls. And
Now,
these
this is the thing that people remember, which I find interesting because while this is a cool mechanic, I think the beams is more interesting. But it puts up these ice walls. Now, these ice walls all share an HP pool. Not each spoke, but each individual spoke shares a health pool, not each ice wall section. If you reveal the yellow, it will do AoE damage for every 10% HP it loses. If it gets unrevealed, it AoE bloops the rate. Okay, so yeah. If a yellow gets revealed, you have to kill it. Because if it gets shrouded again, it fucks you. So you kind of want to kill the red before the yellow gets revealed. Or else, yeah. And also, what you can do is you can AoE these because they all share an HP pool. So it's kind of like Elgon in that you'll have your DKs and your AoE classes probably stand in the center and just AoE like the first 3 sections of these.
always spawn in a shape of an upsilon or capital Y.
Chain Lightning go burr.
with the
I actually don't think Chain Lightning is going to be that valuable on this one. Like, it'll be nice, sure, But you'll see DPS classes, instead of hitting, how many times does Chain Lightning bounce? 3, 4? Anybody know? 5. Okay, well maybe it is good. But I think something like DK diseases, like Akai is saying, is going to be better. You're wanting to AoE as many sections at once as you can, right? So the goal is to have as wide of AoE as you can, because then you're doing as much damage to all 3 as possible.
Bottom of the Y toward the entrance of the
Buff
room.
Chain Lightning again.
So you
Yeah,
want to make sure
this
when they
mechanic's
spawn,
really
the
not
DPS
too
down
dangerous.
immediately. Use AE.
But notice he's doing a Cthulhu beam, and you have to walk away from him, and then complicating it even further
damage
is the
attacks.
maze.
So Chain Lightning, Spinning Crane Kick, Blade Storm,
Wait.
all that stuff.
How did they
Because
just
the
walk
damage
underneath
revealed
that?
To any given segment will be
Oh, it
split
doesn't start,
among
okay.
all the segments of that
So
wall. So the more AA damage, the faster they'll die.
This
you
is the
kill a wall,
maze.
you can step
Now-
through it and proceed with the normal phase mechanics that you have to deal with at the time.
the maze is cool.
The second edition is Dark
All right,
Parasite.
we'll talk about Dark Parasite.
This is a debuff cast on a random raid member throughout the fight, and it applies a 30-second dot. This starts at about 100,000 damage every 2 seconds and goes up to about 400,000 at the end if it's not mitigated. So obviously this is a lot of healing required. To help with this, you can use damage reduction cooldowns, or you can dispel it with a magic dispel from one of your healers at any time if you
It was
desire.
Tim.
Dispelling it will morph the effect of Dark Parasite into Dark Plague, which has the duration that was equal to the remaining time of the Dark Parasite. So if you have 10 seconds left on Parasite and you dispel it, you'll have 10 seconds of Dark Plague. While Dark Plague is active, every 3 seconds, a Wandering Eye will spawn and attach itself to a random raid member. These have about 250,000 health, and they do about 50,000 damage every 2 seconds, plus a little bit of extra damage when they are attacked. However, they should be pretty much ignored. So the best way we found to deal with Dark Parasite
I think you just run into melee,
is
right?
to heal it for about 15 or 20 seconds, and then once it gets really high in damage at around the 20-second mark, just dispel it. This will give us 2 to 3 Wandering Eyes around the room, and then we just ignore those. They will eventually die to cleave damage when we're attacking the wall,
Yeah.
and otherwise don't really do anything.
Fair
dangerous,
enough.
So
Cool.
you can ignore them
Easy.
completely.
Just run into melee so they get blended.
You can also use Grounding Totem from
Now, there is a thing called, I honestly forget what it's called. But the ranged want to stand as far back as possible to, this is the mechanic that's probably going to wipe you outside of the colored beams early on. You want to stand as far back on this platform as possible, because you'll get targeted with a purple thing, and then it will lob to you, and then it will drop a purple on the ground. Now, if everybody in melee range isn't under the boss, dropping a purple under the thing, and everybody in ranged is just kind of in the midsection, you're going to have purple all up and down the fucking platform. And you need to be running around the platform in circles through the maze. And if you're running over purple because you can't go left and right around it, you're going to take a ton of damage. So the goal is to have really clean purple pool drops.
shamans to usually absorb the Dark Parasite application, which then of course prevents it, and it's quite handy.
There's Force of Will. Oh, he moved.
To handle light spectrum, the best thing you can do is to assign 1 or 2 players to drop raid markers on the red
There you go.
fog beast locations.
Fog
Little macro
beasts.
text
We're
on the
just gonna
screen
move through
location.
some stuff.
You can get
I have
through
to
those
go.
fogs during this fight. Tries to be in the
We only
opposite
did 3
side
bosses, and I'm
because the
sorry.
fog
We'll
killed
do
right
another
away.
4 tomorrow,
The blue
and then we'll do
should
the
pretty much
last
be
on
stationed.
Saturday or something.
Actually,
But I'll edit this all into
people
a
will be
video.
near enough each other that they can actually help soak up the beams and kill the walls that need to be killed nearby. So make sure everyone's in the same quadrant as you see here, and then you
So this is kind of spooky, honestly. They have all 3 beams on top of each other. I wouldn't do it this way.
can manage the beams just like normal once you get some of the walls down.
Actually, it doesn't look like they're taking that much damage, but from what I
For
understand, it's
disintegration
bad.
beam phase, make sure your entire raid is in the same general quadrant, either to the left or to the right of the entrance, so that you're able to attack the ice wall that is right near the.
The ice wall's getting
This
zapped.
will be underneath the disintegration.
It does the charge up.
Once that ice wall's dead.
All right, so this is what I was talking about. This is the maze where you run around in a circle through, and it's cool that how the maze is created because it kind of reveals itself as you walk through, which is really kind of fun and themey.
You could run through to the other side if that's.
I like the effect of this. It's a nice thing. But see the purple on the ground? This is the problem. You don't want to be dropping these in a place that you might have to run around.
To rotate through them, and this phase is just like normal from that point forward.
So you're moving through.
Finally, you'll want to consider how you're going to manage a life drain, because doing so poorly will create a lot of extra healing and therefore damage you have to deal with.
I honestly didn't even know this was a mechanic.
The best thing you can do is to make sure people rotate in a proper fashion. We use 3 players per life drain, so each player will be in the drain for about 4 to 5 seconds. This prevents the healing from getting too high, even if that player doesn't have any damage reduction abilities.
So I guess if you get life drain on you, the amount of damage done to you heals the boss. So the goal is to reduce the damage taken by life drain with externals.
However, you should note that the healing that Durumu gains is directly proportional to the damage that he deals. So if you have a strong damage reduction cooldown, like a Shadow Priest Dispersion, that can be used just before you get life drain,
seems cool.
You will greatly reduce the damage you take, and the boss will basically heal nothing. So anyone that has a damage reduction,
I didn't pre-watch it, I swear.
Should use it.
I didn't even know the mechanic existed.
Other than that,
that makes
just
sense.
communicate in mumble or vent.
Mumble or vent. Okay, we're gonna call it there. I need to go. Again, I will be posting these to YouTube in little supercuts, hopefully. I'd like to get this one tomorrow. No, not this one. The first 5 to you tomorrow, up to Megera, and then we'll do these 2, and then tomorrow we'll do the next 4-ish. Same time, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific. We'll do some more tomorrow, and then also tomorrow's Halloween, so I hope you guys have a nice Halloween. But thanks for hanging out. If you haven't hit the follow button, do me a favor, hit the follow button. I'm gonna throw you guys somewhere. When you get there, please give them a follow. That helps me a bunch. YouTube guys, I don't have a raid functionality on YouTube, I don't believe. So thank you very much for hanging out. And I will see you guys later. Do you have a preference on where you guys go? Anywhere? What's for me? Is there an algo with raids? No, but the person appreciates it. When you follow, they like it. And that helps me with being friends with people. We're gonna where do we throw you? Where do you guys want to go? Grubby, Sardaco, Shroud. Also, I might be on later with Sarth and Toxic Lust and maybe Pirate Software if so we might just do that. We're gonna do Arc Raiders, I believe, which looks really fun. I downloaded it earlier. I know, yeah. I've become loose friends with Pirate Software lately from TwitchCon. Where do we go, guys? I just spit because I'm a fucking idiot. All right, we're gonna go to Evora. She's nice. That's a friend of mine. She's doing art. She's doing art. We love it. Just don't do that. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Thank you very much. Say hi to Evora. She's a good friend. We hung out at TwitchCon. She's a friend's good friend. All right. Riani, we need to talk about scheduling. I want to talk to you. But I can't do it right now because we're doing a thing. La, 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 la. And we're going to go the outro. Do you mean whenever? Okay. We're going to do outro and we'll do the song. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Thank you for hanging out. Oh, it's not playing the song? Oh, Dude. Why the fuck isn't it? What? It should be. Why is Spotify not playing on the thing? All right, whatever. Bye, guys. See you later.